For many tennis fans, the best part of the last decade was spent witnessing a three-way rivalry. Three differently skilled modern superstars of the game, battling it out for top honours: Roger Federer, Novak Djokovic and Rafael Nadal. With Roger Federer stepping away from the courts and putting a full stop to his illustrious career last year, it was up to Djokovic and Nadal to continue helming the rivalry for the sport and its growth. But Rafael Nadal injured himself in January this year, and for a whole year the sport has been a tad poorer. Sure, we've seen some youngsters stepping up to entertain and try to give Djokovic some fight. But let's be honest, Novak Djokovic himself would admit it's been a rather lonely top floor for the Serb. He's won 3 Grand Slams of the 4 this year. Now the King of Clay is set to make his return, exactly a year from when he had to step away. Rafa is set to make a comeback after his injury break in the Australian Open next year, the very tournament where he played his last match. Let's first look at why this comeback is going to be a difficult one for Nadal to execute, much of what his fans would not want to relive. Now, his career has been rife with injuries. Nadal's first major injury came in 2003, where he hurt his elbow. That forced him to postpone his French Open debut. The 37-year-old has since then sustained a string of mishaps, one after another. A stress fracture in his ankle, a foot injury the next year, a forearm injury, tendinitis the next year, his knee in 2010, the tendinitis again in 2012, a wrist injury in 2014, the back then the same year, the wrist again. He remained injury-free for 4 years, and then it caught up again over the last 3 years. The last one, of course, being the hip injury that he had to undergo surgery for this year that kept him away from the sport. Listen to what he said after he injured himself at the Australian Open in 2023.
La lesión que me hice en Australia pues no ha evolucionado como...
The evolution of the injury I sustained in Australia has not gone as I would have liked. We would have been working non-stop while focusing on future goals. Although I have missed some along the way, and Roland Garros, which was the most important goal, has become impossible. At this moment, I won't be able to be at the Roland Garros after many years of having not missed that competition. With what that tournament means to me, you can imagine how difficult it is for me to make this decision. Well, I didn't make the decision, my body did.
Really disheartening, especially if you're a Rafa fan, to see him say those words. And of course, that was elongated and it was a longer break. He really couldn't come back right after then to play any other Grand Slam. And now, after hearing this, there is some hope. And despite that, he came out every single time and clinched a Grand Slam despite going through all those injuries. Now, he's now at 22 Grand Slams. The long list of injuries might have slowed him down, but it hasn't stopped him yet. The question all tennis and Rafa fans want to ask: can he possibly scale Djokovic at all? Now, here's how these two have fared against each other. Now, they've played each other about 59 times. And as you can see, of course, you see the stark difference in the numbers when it comes to the clay court versus the rest. Djokovic at 8 and then Nadal at 20. Now, what makes this comeback the most anticipated one till date is the prospect of seeing these two face each other again. But comebacks are not easy. It takes time to get that momentum, that rhythm and stamina hitting its peak once more. And let's be honest, at 37, age is definitely not on Nadal's side. Djokovic is no younger. He's 36, but he's playing some of his best tennis, and he's managed to keep his body and mind fit. In that battle, he edges Nadal. Tennis as a sport requires grit and commitment. The desire to claiming the top spot might be here, but that road is going to be a slippery one, especially for Rafael Nadal. But knowing the bull that he has been and proved to be time and again, this one will be another challenge, one that he'll only wait to take on. It's the dream of every cricketer, the ultimate glory. Few manage to keep their date with destiny. But for many, it's been heartbreaks and a cross to bear. The Holy Grail is here in India. I'm Rupha Ramani, and Firstpost brings you the ringside view. We bring you the Cup of Dreams. Cricket World Cup coverage like never before.